It's Monday, September 5th, 2022, and this is episode 265 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. I'm Mark Duvall.
And I'm Dr. Mike.
Mike, you've been doing any gambling out your way at all recently?
Well, just made one trip to Ho Chunk Casino in Baraboo, Wisconsin.
Right, it's right by the Dells there, right?
Yep, right in the Dells. And I wanted to go to meet up with listener Michael James. Yeah, we had a good time. We were there maybe 5 hours. Did pretty well. Never hit the all, but we hit half of it, either the small or the tall, 5 or 6 times.
Okay, and is that the only side bet they have at the craps table there?
Yeah, that's the only side bet. There's no fire bet or anything.
Yeah.
And the limit is just $5.
Okay, oh, good. Oh, you mean on that bet?
Yeah, on that bet.
The max is $5?
The max is $5.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, it went well. Nothing crazy to report. One guy had a pretty nice roll, and we both ended up winning. So,
good.
There you go. Yeah.
And you'd say you'd like the casino?
Yeah, I like the casino. It's small. The craps dealers are nice and friendly, and they're all, good. They have 2 tables, and I asked when I was there, about the second table. This was a Sunday that we went around noon, and they said, yeah, that probably won't open today.
Okay.
And I said, well, when does it open? And one dealer kind of looked at me like, well, lately, not very often.
Yeah.
And Pit Boss said, yeah, staffing problems and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we usually just get one table. Sometimes on a Friday or Saturday night after 8 p.m., they open the second one if there's a big demand and they have the dealers.
Okay, yeah.
So, that's the one thing about there. Plus, the maximum bet on the craps table is $300.
$300, okay. That sounds like a state line maximum.
Yeah,
We'd stop at state line and that'd be the max. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but they do allow put bets. So, if you get like a $300 six and you want to go higher, just make a put bet with 10 times odds.
10 times odds. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, $10 table. It was a $10 table.
Did you hit the max while you were there, 300?
Oh, yeah, several
good.
times.
Yeah, Mike says, of course. What do you mean? I started with 300.
Yeah, several times.
Okay.
I start with like a $10 put bet and $100 odds after the 300.
Right.
And I hit a couple of those, but never got much past that.
Okay. All right. But a successful trip?
Yeah, successful trip. It was kind of rainy that day, but I managed to drive from here to there like an hour and 40 minutes without it raining on me.
Oh,
it was
really?
weird. Rained before I left, after I got in the casino, but while I was there, nothing. So.
All right. Well, Michael James on Twitter, it sounds like he was mesmerized watching you play.
Mesmerized?
Yeah, I think that might have been the word that he used. Yeah, probably on like come out rolls, watching you throw all the chips out there and talk to the dealers and everything.
Well, I got it all figured out in my head ahead of time. So, I know exactly how much to put out there. That's probably what gets people like, how do you know to put exactly that amount?
Yeah. Well, very good. Any other plans?
Yeah, well, today I think I'm going to head over to Iowa to go to Diamond Joe at Worth.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, good.
Yeah, if I'm filling up to it, which right now I am, I think that's what I'm going to do.
All right, very good. Well, good luck.
I'm going to try and talk to the host there about November.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Making sure the second table is going to be open and that we can all get around it. And I think they'll be happy to, have Chris, Josh, and you and me.
Just a reminder to listeners, there's basically a meetup that is planned over the Veterans Day holiday in November. So Veterans Day is Friday, November 11th. And I plan on coming out to Minnesota, your area, to check out the casinos. And Chris and Josh from Crap Vegas, they plan on coming out. And I know Michael James, he said that he'd probably be a part of it. Yeah. So it's an open invitation. So
yeah, for anyone who's, nearby or just wants to have a weekend, craps trip.
Great.
They have a lot of other games.
Oh, they do? Oh, that's nice. Yeah. It's not just a craps only casino?
No.
Oh, that's good to know.
I wish they were. They'd get rid of a lot of the riffraff, milling around.
Yeah,
on
sure. That's always an issue.
Machines.
Yeah.
There's one slot machine that's right behind the table. And it makes so much noise. Yeah. Even the dealers are like, God, could they turn that thing down?
Well, Sherry and I went out to Harrah, Southern California again. That's kind of becoming a weekend thing for us. Yeah, we went last weekend. We pulled up and it's like, wow, it sure is crowded. We were there late afternoon. And
it was the end of the month.
Yeah, that we realized once we went in there, it's the end of the month. And every Saturday at the end of the month, they have drawings. They have hourly drawings where they give away $1,000 in free play. And then at 11 o'clock, they give away $50,000. So we said, oh, okay, well, that's why it was. Well, it wasn't just that. We were playing for a little while, and Firebet Phil came by to say hi, and he said, oh, are you going to stay for the 11 o'clock drawing? And I said, no, we're probably going to take off early. I said, Phil, if I win the $50,000, don't tell me. Just don't, if they call my name, just don't even tell me. He was on his way to the concert. Well, the concert was Chris Rock. So you can imagine how crowded it was, right? When we went, it ended up leaving the upper level of the parking, their parking garage there was full. Right. I mean, people were driving around that upper level trying to find spaces. So, that really never happened. So
they had to park in that lot way in the back.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's a long walk.
So, we played for a little bit. I was going okay. I ended up losing for the night, but I said, okay, Sherry, let's 8:30, we'll take off. So I had a roll that wasn't very good and said, all right, so let's take off. So I went and played my free play. We used the restroom, went to the gift shop and everything, and then we took off. So we're driving home, and I'm trying to decide, well, where do I want to eat? It's kind of like driving home with you. What am I going to do? Roll tacos or, Burger King or
right. There's multiple choices.
Oh, there's so many choices. And since it was early, there were even more choices. Because, like Del Taco closes early or Wiener Schnitzel. When you and I are leaving at like 2 a.m., those aren't options.
No, Rally's is still open when you went.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. So, even though there are all these options, I pull into Jack in the Box, right? Which is where we would go anyway.
Of course. You want one time that you can go anywhere you want, and you go to the one we always go to.
So I pull into the drive-thru, and then up on my screen, it says I'm getting a text from Mary, our friend Mary.
Right.
And I'm thinking, oh, she probably was at the casino. Maybe saw us or something, was asking where we were.
You.
Yeah, or something like that.
Right.
So I pull up the message and it says, you've got 20 minutes to claim your free play. And I'm thinking, oh no, they drew my name, on the hourly drawing.
Right.
And sure enough, she sent me, a picture of the screen. And she's 20 minutes. Now, where that Jack in the Box is, right?
Right.
At first, I'm thinking, oh, shoot. And then Sherry says, well, do we have time to go back? And I'm thinking, oh, my gosh, this is cutting it close, right?
Yeah, it'll be close.
It'll be very, very close.
Because when you start up the hill there, it's probably about 12 or 13 minutes up that big hill. Yep. And you're a little ways from that big hill from there with traffic lights.
Right. So this is $1,000 in free play. It's not nothing. So it's like, okay, I'm going to head back. So I get on the road and, I call up Mary and, ask her, okay, when's the cutoff? And, just to make sure I have the thing. I am racing back to Harrah's.
Okay, breaking the law.
Oh, I broke several laws on the way there.
Nice.
Trust me. All right. And I'm thinking, well, even if I'm just a little late, I can probably say, oh, I just found out, or maybe I claim I was in the Chris Rock concert, right? And didn't hear my name called or something like that, right?
Right.
So, I'm looking at the clock and it's like, I'm not going to make it in time. I may be a couple of minutes late, right? So we come racing into the parking lot. I just jump out of the car. I pull right up to the front and, leave the keys in. Sherry's coming running around to the driver's side.
So what door are you entering? By the valet?
No, the opposite door. So you're probably thinking, well, why didn't you go to the valet? Because it's closer to, where you need to go to check in to get the free play.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking, by the time we go around to the back, it'd probably be better just to race to the front, and then I'm just going to run across the casino.
Okay, yeah.
So I run across the casino. I'm definitely late. There's no question about it. And I go to where the counter is, and there's a guy who's on a mic who announces all the winners and everything, right?
Right.
He's the only one there.
Okay.
And I say, I raced over here, right? I know I'm a little late. And he it was kind of weird. I realized when I started talking to him that he has nothing to do with actually giving away the money. He announces the names, and beyond that, nothing.
He gives a few crummy jokes.
Yeah, right.
Announces the names, and that's it.
And he's kind of looking at me like, well, what are you doing here? It was weird. As I'm starting to talk to him, it's like, this guy's not going to be able to do anything for me. And I explained what, had happened. And he said, well, no. I mean, once the timer goes off, that's it. And plus, everybody at the counter, at that customer service counter, they're gone. So,
right.
And I understand, like when they have that 11 o'clock drawing, if you don't show up in 5 minutes, they draw another name. And this was, you have 45 minutes from the, 9 o'clock. I had till 9:45. It's like 9:48 when I'm talking to him. And I'm thinking, okay, there's nothing I can do. Now, can I make a fuss about it? Well, I guess I could, but who would I fuss to? Number one, it would be a long process. I mean, I wasn't there within the 45 minutes. So I just kind of tucked my tail between my legs and started walking out, and all the dealers are looking at me. Hey, Mark, did you get your money? Because they heard my name, right?
Right.
It's like, no. Mike,
you should have called your host. Or texted any host on duty.
It's possible, but what do I say? Oh, I left the casino and I'm on my way back because a friend the thing is, I mean, one of the reasons they have that 45-minute window there is because they're giving you a little time, but they expect you to still be there. They don't expect you to have driven away, heard that your name was called, and driven back. Oh, hey, Mike, there's plenty of things I could have done. And you're right, I should have called. But here's why it gets me, and I was talking to you about this, Mike. When I didn't win that $10,000 on the 4, honestly, that didn't really bother me. I made the decisions. But here's what bothered me about this. Mike, my name has never been called for the $1,000 free play.
Yeah.
Of all the months when it would be called, this seemed like it'd be the least likely because I hardly played there at all. I think the only time I really played was with you and a little bit with Sherry. Sherry and I don't stay out there nearly as long as you and I do. So I didn't even have that many points to get called.
No.
The other thing is, if I had just been paying more attention, I would have looked at the clock when we're heading out the door and, oh, hey, Sherry, there's a 9 o'clock drawing. It was probably 5 minutes away. From the drawing, right? And I could
I didn't think of that. That is the kicker.
Right. So
you could have looked and let's say 5 more minutes and just see.
Yeah, the chances are slim, but what's 5 more minutes, right?
Right.
The other thing is, and I had no control over this, but it's still frustrating. The text that I got from Mary, that was actually her second text. She had texted me about 10 minutes earlier, but we were going over that hill. Where the cell service is really crappy. So I didn't get that first text right away. If I had gotten that one, I would have been able to get back in no time, right? I would have been closer to the casino and there would have been more time. So just kind of a perfect storm. And I do feel bad about this one, even though it's only $1,000 compared to the 10,000. Oh my gosh. And, Sherry felt bad too. She said, well, Mark, why don't you take $1,000 out of our savings? And you can use that. And it's like, well, okay, I appreciate that, but it's kind of not the point.
Yeah, right.
Right? So, and I may take her up on it because she keeps kind of pushing, oh, you really should take it. Because my gambling fund is completely separate from our family fund. Sherry takes care of all the family stuff. So I may still take her up on it. But so that's my story.
Let me give you some advice here, Mark.
Oh, thanks.
Number one, don't leave it all. Just wait till 11. You just got to tell Sherry, look, we got to wait till 11. We can go sit in the cafe. We can go have some tacos at the taco truck. We got to wait till 11. That's number one.
All right.
Number two, you should have called your host.
Yeah.
And you should have said something like, look, my wife had this craving for Taco Bell so bad.
Yeah, right.
So we're heading to the nearest Taco Bell, just like on the commercials. And we got there and I was able to talk her into going to Jack in the Box. I know it's my fault. It's a few more blocks, but that was the delay. We were heading back. I was going to take out $10,000 and play the rest of the night. I know I made a blunder, but it'd be nice if you gave me that $1,000 free play.
That's actually good advice. Yeah. I didn't even occur because, again, I am racing back, right? I'm trying not to get us killed on the road. So that's not even occurring to me.
and you have to go up that hill too.
Oh, I know.
Which,
and
it's not that fast.
And we're behind cars, who are just, I can't pass anybody.
Oh, and when you get to the top by Valley View, when you head down to Harrah's, if you're behind somebody, I mean, there's nowhere to pass.
There's nowhere.
It's, that's a frustrating story.
Yeah.
I feel bad that you had 2 frustrating stories in a row.
Again, the 10,000, it still doesn't bother me that much. I made the decision.
Yeah.
This one, it's rough.
Well, I don't know. See, now you got to stop saying that. You should be saying that 10,000 really bothers me, Sherry. I think I need to take that
That's right.
out of our 401k. It's the only way I'll be happy. We got to take that out and put it in my.
All right. After we're done recording, I'll run that by her, see what she thinks.
No, please don't, because I want you rested up for November. I don't want you sleeping on the couch from now to November.
All right. Well, speaking of bad beats, here's some news that's coming out of Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh. A bad beat jackpot in their poker room worth $1.2 million recently paid off here. It was on August 25th, and it was in a 1-3 game of No Limit Texas Hold'em. And for those unfamiliar, a bad beat jackpot, which most poker rooms have, pays off when you've got a really good hand, like a really good hand, and you're beaten by an even better hand. And what happened here was a player with 4 aces lost to another player who had a royal flush. And so this $1.2 million jackpot paid off. The loser of the hand, in other words, the player with the 4 aces, got almost $500,000. It's distributed amongst everybody at the table. The winner of the hand, in other words, the person who got the straight flush, got about $370,000. And then each of the remaining 6 players at the table got a little over $60,000. It's the biggest bad beat jackpot that it ever paid. And when I first heard about this, Mike, I'm thinking, holy cow, how does a jackpot get that high? 1.2 million?
Right.
Because around here, it gets up to like 30, 40,000 and everybody's buzzing about it.
Right.
So it turns out that at Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh, the criteria for winning the jackpot is you have to have at least 4 tens. So 4 tens or higher. Your hand has to be 4 tens or higher and be beaten by a better hand. So That's why it got so big, because a lot of the jackpots, like the ones around here, you have to have like aces full of jacks beaten. That means a full house where you have 3 aces and 2 jacks. That hand or better beaten. Well, obviously that's going to happen a lot more than, having 4 of a kind 10s or better beaten.
Right. Well, you see a lot of full houses, but 4 of a kind, and it has to be higher than 10s.
Yeah.
That's not that common.
Well, I was thinking back to, Mike, to our home game. And I think only twice in our home game history has 4 of a kind lost to a straight flush. Again, no wild cards, obviously. But when I thought back on that, both times it was in Omaha. We've never had it happen in Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
So, obviously they're dealing a lot more hands at this poker room than we've had in our home game, but we've never seen it. So it is extremely unlikely. So that's why this jackpot got pretty big. 1.2 million. 40% goes to the loser of the hand, 30% goes to the winner, and the remaining 30% is distributed amongst the rest of the players at the table.
Hey, what if that happened on a table where you only had like 5 players? That'd be pretty sweet for the other 3, right?
Yes, and it'll depend on the rules at the casino. There may be, a minimum number of players that have to be involved. It'll depend. I don't know what the rules here at Rivers, but yeah, if you have fewer people there, that means more money for the remaining players. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. And if I was the loser, I'm getting 40%. I'm pretty happy.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't you be thinking, I should get that whole 1.2 million?
Yeah, I guess so. But, if you're not the loser of the hand, you're the winner of the hand, the other people at the table, yeah, you're going to want a piece of it. Hey, he knew the rules going in.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's funny because the winner, if I ever am in that situation, Mark, and I'm actually the winner of the hand with the royal flush, I'm just going to be totally uninterested in the jackpot and be going crazy that I won the hand.
Woo! Yeah, going that. You're throwing a dollar chip to the dealer. Hey, this is for you.
For you, yeah. I won this $300 pot. Here.
Oh, my gosh. Well, in other news, big news day here for us. You can bet on that. So if you recall a little while back, professional poker player Phil Ivey got into some hot water because he was playing baccarat with a friend of his, we'll say a cohort maybe, and they used a technique called edge sorting to gain an edge over this baccarat game. Now, what they were doing is they were asking the dealers to turn some of the cards 180 degrees. And in this particular case, these cards were printed in such a way that they were a little off center. So if you flipped a card 180, it looked a little different because, maybe the pattern was a little bit more towards the left, or, there was something, but you could tell. You know how sometimes you can get these novelty cards where you get like your face put on them? Right? And this is an extreme example, but if you turn that 180 degrees, well, now your face is upside down. Well, okay, of course, in casino cards, the pattern on the back is symmetrical. But if there's kind of a printing error, you can kind of tell maybe, the print is a little off. Anyway, Ivey used this to anticipate what card was coming out of the shoe, the next card coming out of the shoe. He took advantage of that and won a lot of money. Now, the courts pretty much ruled against him, saying that this was cheating, even though he did not touch the cards himself, asked the dealers to turn them, almost like it's, this is my superstition. He's throwing all this money around at the baccarat table. This is my we're going to accommodate him. Anyway, the courts ruled that he was cheating, and I think it's terrible because, he was taking advantage of a situation, never touched the cards, and the casino accommodated him. That was bad news. But the good news coming out of Australia. So in 2018, 2 men were banned from the Star Entertainment Group casinos in Australia after they were caught using edge sorting while playing Pontoon, which is a game very similar to Spanish 21 here in the States. This happened at the Star Gold Coast Casino in Queensland. So Star Entertainment said that edge sorting violated gambling laws because it was based on, quote, dishonest, unquote, activity, and banned the 2 players. However, the pair filed a lawsuit asking a court to overturn the casino operator's ban. And the Queensland Civil and Administrative Court ruled that the men did not engage in any form of dishonesty involving lying, stealing, or cheating in the ordinary sense. The judge acknowledged that while the men could have used edge sorting techniques to gain an advantage over the house, they did nothing illegal. Now, the details of exactly what they did, I couldn't really find. So it sounded like, again, they didn't touch the cards, that maybe it was some sloppy dealing, and how you would use that an advantage in Spanish 21, I don't know. So the details aren't there like they are in the Phil Ivey case, but I just thought it was great that, okay, here's one court that says, hey, these players took advantage of a situation that the casino should have been aware of, or was ultimately the casino's fault, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's good news for gamblers.
Yeah, that whole Phil Ivey thing, he didn't actually do anything to manipulate the cards.
Nope, all he did was ask.
All they have to do is say no.
Right.
That's not our policy. It's the casino's attempt to be greedy by caving in to big players' ask so that he'll stay there, and they're hoping he'll lose more money.
Yeah, and it's a free roll for the casino. Yeah, because if Ivey loses, they get money. If he wins, they sue and they get money. It's a free roll for him.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He shouldn't have been found guilty. And these guys, it sounds like the judge made the correct decision that, hey, train your dealers better, set your rules and stick to them. Don't change them. If I walk up to the table and I'm betting $5 and I say, hey, can you turn the card? The dealer's going to say, no.
Right.
So don't change your rules.
Yeah. And plus, when Phil Ivey was doing this, edge sorting was known to casinos. All right. If you're a casino and you're not staying on top of what advantage players are doing, that's also your fault. This was not a new thing. This was known by people in the industry.
Yeah, it's totally the casino's fault.
Anyway, some good news, I think, there.
Yeah, well, I remember that episode where Yosemite Sam was edge sorting.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, nothing happened to him.
He didn't get any kind of trouble?
No. So, I mean, if you want to look for
precedent. Yeah, if the court is looking for precedent, go back to a Yosemite Sam cartoon.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
And that's all I've got to say on that.
All right, good. Hey, back on episode 261, we talked about a set of craps side bets called Hard Rockin' Dice that was offered at Hard Rock Casino in Cincinnati. It's sort of like all tall small, but it's different numbers. And on the all part, you could win if only 9 of the 10 numbers came up. Kind of interesting. Well, we've got a couple follow-ups to that. I had speculated that Hard Rock Casino Cincinnati was the only casino to offer these side bets. But listener Mark, who had some inside information, let us know that most Hard Rock casinos offer Hard Rock and Dice. And yes, one of the reasons they do is because they don't have to pay royalties to the companies that actually offer the all small tall bonus bets or Diceology, whatever you call it. Secondly, I had said that the Wizard of Odds did not even have a page devoted to Hard Rock and Dice. Again, because I thought it was only at one casino. But even that wasn't true. The reason I couldn't find his page is because he had listed it as Hard Rockin', spelled out ROCKIN apostrophe Dice, when the official name is Rockin' ROCK apostrophe N Dice. So it's as simple as that, right? I did a search for, the way it was spelled on the display card that I had, and I didn't see anything at the Wizard of Oz. If I'd done a little digging, I would have been able to find it. It's in his crap side bet page, so that was my fault. I am happy to say that my calculations were pretty close to the Wizard's calculations. I'm certainly going to trust him more, but they were pretty close enough. In any case, I mean, they're terrible bets, right? They're up almost 20% house edge, but just wanted to follow up on Hard Rockin' Dice.
You know what I have to say about that, right?
What's that, Dr. Mike?
I don't like the lying.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't like the lying.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
By you and by the Wizard of Oz.
Yep. That's right.
That's the best part of the story. It's a spelling problem.
Yeah. And spelling can be lying. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I don't know. My day's going downhill. It started off so good.
Yeah.
It's just getting worse and worse.
Yeah, all these bad stories.
Let's get to some good stories.
All right.
Mark.
I guess this is so. On our last episode, we were talking about positive superstitions. Jack had called in and said, there are a lot of negative superstitions at the table. How about positive ones? We didn't really get one. We did get an email from Todd Goddess. I'll just read what he says here. This one isn't terribly obvious, but isn't pressing your winning bets a positive superstition in that good luck will continue? That actually does kind of make sense. I mean, why are you pressing your bet? You're not pressing your bet because you think that's the last time a 5's going to be rolled, right? You're pressing because you're anticipating another. So is it a superstition or is it just a system? I don't know. But yeah, I guess if you're really trying to find a positive superstition, that would be one.
Yeah, I read that. It makes sense. I agree with Todd. Some people might call that like a strategy or something to that effect and not so much a superstition.
Yeah.
But in your mind, you are assuming. I mean, because if you didn't assume that, you wouldn't be pressing your 5.
No,
right?
You'd be taking it down or reducing it or something.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, I think that's a valid point.
And then Todd also said, you've heard this before, the field's alive after 5. When a 5 is rolled, there's going to be, a field roll now. I guess that's kind of a positive superstition. You kind of like also with like horn numbers. Horn numbers, they come in pairs. So you see people who, if a horn number comes up, then they bet the horn on the next roll. So, yeah, I guess those are kind of positive superstitions.
Well, and you also see somebody who like 2 2s are rolled and then the guy says, I'll stop that. And he puts a $5 2.
That's true.
Right?
But then again, that's kind of negative, right?
That's right. That's his negative superstition that, I can stop 2s from coming up. I'll just bet on it.
Yeah, that's true too. So anyway, if anybody else has any more positive superstitions, let us know. We did get an email from listener Bev, who is a dealer. She said, I am one of those dealers that like to make things up about when a 7 is rolled. It's kind of like you had said on the last episode, right? Where some of the dealers at Harrah's are just say, oh, there goes Peter walking by. That means a 7's coming up. So she says, I legitimately had players believing at one time that every time they played an Elvis song, it would be a 7 out. To the point that a lot of my players were turning their bets off every time an Elvis song came on. So there you go.
Well, yeah, as soon as the pit hears Elvis, they activate the magnet under the table.
Right. That's how they're given that information. They don't want to actually get a phone call where the guy says, put on the magnet.
No, it's not like the NFL.
Message.
No, it's not like the NFL where they wear a headset and everything to get the message. This is a little more coy. They're like, today the magic song is Elvis.
That's right. Oh, that's good. Yesterday it was Elvis Costello and I was all confused.
Yeah, right. Elvis Costello comes up. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Is that it? Do I put on the magnet? Dice out.
That's why you always got to keep it to BOC. Just anytime a Blue Oyster Cult song comes on.
Yeah. They don't have, they've got a big enough catalog, but not a big enough catalog of singles that you're going to hear a lot of Blue Oyster Cult songs over
That's when the all hits.
Oh, okay. That's right. Don't fear the repeater.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right?
It's for the repeater bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't fear the repeater.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. All right, on to voicemails. First up is BT.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. It's BT from Chattanooga again. I chuckled when you said it was a Cherokee podcast at times. I do have an update for Valley River, which is the Cherokee Casino's little brother, we'll say. It's about half the size. They did get a loan approved for, I think it was $125 million. So I talked to the pit boss while I was up there recently, that they haven't broke ground yet, but they expect it to within the next 2 to 3 weeks, and it'll be about 2 years of construction. But that they would be getting a completely new hotel tower. I think they said 2 more restaurants and an addition to the food court and double the size of the gaming floor. Currently there's 4 craps tables, I think 6 baccarat tables, a host of other blackjack tables, Spanish 21, Ultimate Texas Hold'em. And they did say they were going to add Pai Gow, which I am excited about. We did play craps for a while last time we were up there. We did roll to win and the normal table. They said they felt like roll to win was on the way out, at least in this casino. I don't know if that's widespread. They were very, very strict on the dice hitting the back. I don't remember seeing a back plane on all of them before, but they do now. And there were times when if one die did not hit the back, it was a no roll, even if it was a 7 or even if it was a point. I saw them cancel out both. So that was interesting to see how strict. They were extremely strict on that. But overall, it was a fun trip, and I am looking forward to the changes to that. That is about an hour closer to Chattanooga. So it is hopefully, I guess business is doing well, but hopefully you get even more business after that. But I'm glad your move went well, and I hope you guys are doing great. Thank you for all that you do. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
We also feel that roll to win is on its way out, especially in casinos that have regular craps tables as well. If roll to win's the only table in the casino, okay, maybe it'll stick around a while. But yeah, for a lot of reasons, cheating players, cheating dealers, or at least the perception of that. So yeah,
they're so concerned about cheating that they're willing to forego a game that costs them less to run.
Right, yeah.
That's how paranoid casinos are of cheating. But take into consideration when there's only one dealer on the table, there's not somebody else watching. It might be hard to get 3 or 4 guys in on it, but one guy could certainly, enter something wrong and just claim, I entered it wrong. So, yeah, it's a legitimate concern. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it leaving.
Yeah. Like we said, it's kind of our least favorite way to play craps of all the different machines and real craps and everything. So, yeah, probably won't shed
It's just eating up casino floor. That's what that's doing.
Yeah. Mike, after this trip where we all come out, you need to organize a trip for Harrah's Cherokee and Harrah's Cherokee Valley River. I think you should be in charge of putting that together. Yeah.
Putting that together.
Yeah.
I would like that. I would love to go there. Even Lynn has said she'd love to go there just to see the country. And there's a lot to do in that area.
Go ahead and do it. You're a lot closer to it than I am. I'm not saying you're close, but you're closer than I am.
I'm closer than you are. Yeah. So that's why I get the duty of organizing.
Yeah. Well, that just makes sense. What am I supposed to do?
Well, you're the one who knows how to run a computer.
That's right. I think Lynn knows how to run a computer too, so she'll help you.
I'll get the girls on it.
There you go.
They'll organize a trip. There'll be a slight service charge.
What is this service charge here? Is this the airline? No.
That's just what Mike has to pay his daughters to help him with a computer.
Oh, okay. All right. I understand. Thank you. All right. Next call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. It's Jim from Ohio. I thought I'd call with what I thought was a funny story about a trip to the casino at the dice table. So, dice setters are kind of a thing, and I don't know how much I believe in that, but apparently it can be just as hard to hit a 7 when you're trying to as it is to hit other numbers when you're trying to. A few nights ago, I was at a local casino, and this guy gets the dice, and he says, just to let you all know, I'm shooting from the don't, so I'm going to try to hit this 7. Anyway, he starts shooting, and he's either committing or assisting with every faux pas in the book. He's throwing dice at bets at the opposite side of the table, and each side he's saying, hit the money and go funny, trying to hit the 7. He's purposely holding the dice for longer so other people who walk up to the table can buy in, and, is that supposed to cause a 7? A couple times, I swear he threw the dice off the table on purpose, hoping that the next roll would be a 7. He'd throw the dice 3 or 4 times, then ask the stick to dump the bowl so he'd get new dice, hoping for a 7. Anyway, after 12, maybe 15 rolls of that, I said, I'm not going to stick around for this. I took my chips and went to a different table. I was there for maybe 30 minutes or so, and I colored up for a couple $100 and went to walk out. And I passed by that first table, and that same guy shooting from the don't, he has the dice again. So I walked by one of the players that I was standing there with at first. I said, oh, this guy's back at it, huh? He looks at me and says, what do you mean back at it? He's still shooting from that first time. I looked down at the layout. There's black and purple chips all over the place bets, all over the hard ways. This guy had been shooting for well over a half hour, trying to hit the 7, couldn't hit the 7. He's still got $25 on the don't pass line in front of him and not another bet out there that I can see. So he's had to replace his don't pass bet. My guess, at least 10 or 15 times at that point. I look at the chips, and he's actually established and is working on his 5th point to the fire bet, and he's shooting from the don't, trying to hit the 7. So I thought that was entertaining. But just wanted to share that story with you. And real quick, holler back to when you first started the podcast, you talked about different poker home game variations. I wanted to share one with you we call third pair. And it's where if you have a pair that gets counterfeited, say you're dealt pocket 8s and a pair of kings and a pair of 9s come on the board, your 8s don't matter anymore. We actually make it to where that third pair is your kicker. So, somebody else has an ace and they're playing the board kings and 9s. Your pair of 8s will actually supersede their ace, and it'll be a stronger kicker. It doesn't factor into the hand itself because you still just have the 2 pair, but it'll take place of their kicker, and it actually outranks that. So we thought that was an interesting variation. But love the show. Keep it up, guys.
You got cut off there. I kind of like that third pair.
I do. I like that too. I was thinking as he's explaining, hey, I like this.
Yeah, it would be good if it was a general house rule at your game. In other words, it's not worth like saying, okay, on this hand of Hold'em, we have third pair, because it doesn't happen that often. It really doesn't.
Right.
So it'd be more like, okay, our house rule in this game is whenever it does happen, a pair is a higher kicker than any single card, higher even than an ace. Yeah, not bad, because it is frustrating when it does happen. You've got, oh, wow, I've got 2 pair here, and then suddenly it's counterfeited because there's a higher 2 pair on the board, and, you're especially if you have a low pair, it's like no good anymore. So, yeah, I like that. Yeah,
that's a nice version. You should try that out, see how that goes over with the guys.
I'll ask the guys and see if they want to incorporate that, into the game. Now,
I love his shooting from the don't guy.
Yeah, the thing, we've talked about this. Play however you like. If you like shooting from the don't, go ahead. But for me personally, shooting from the don't and having a huge roll would be much worse for me than just playing the right way and having an immediate 7 out.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Everybody else at the table's winning and whooping it up. You got a single bet out there. You're just hoping for a 7. You're trying all the superstitions and it's just not happening. Yeah, it's just...
I'm going to try that today, Mark, except I'm going to shoot on the right side and I'm going to announce where all my bets are and what I want to roll. I'm going to make it real clear. Look, these dice aren't going off the table. No hands are going to be in the way.
Okay.
Joe's not going to walk by during this
That's
roll.
right. It's not a stick change. The cocktail waitress didn't come by.
I'm going to go over all the scenarios. Okay, roll the dice. It's been 3 minutes.
Sir, you're going to have to move the game along, please.
That's in my money management. Am I getting rated for this?
That's right. All right. Next call.
Hey, guys. It's Nathan from Sacramento. Just checking in. Wanted to say hi. And had one, not really a story, but I thought you should know about it, especially since you both play card craps. So like you, I don't really mind the cards. You know, I've been playing the cards for about 20 years now, and there's different variations, but I just wanted to tell you about the absolute worst one I've seen. It's at the Cache Creek Casino up here by Sacramento. I keep going back because they give me a absurd amount of free play, so I can't say no, but I hate every minute playing there, and that's because they have the 6 cards, you know, where the dice indicate which card is going to be the call. However, the dice they use are these special dice that have different colors and designs on them. For example, the blue and the black look almost identical, and the orange and the yellow. So it's so hard to tell what the call is. And I thought I would get better at it after playing there, but I've been there about 6 times now, and I still can't get it down. I was just wondering, you know, if you guys have seen any kind of variation like that, but let's hope Prop 26 goes through. All right. Have a good night. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and again, Prop 26 is a sports betting proposition, but it's the one that would also allow real craps and roulette at California tribal casinos. All right, so let's explain what's going on here at Cache Creek. So the most common way to deal craps here in California with cards is they have on the layout, they actually have 6 little boxes, card-shaped boxes, numbered 1 through 6. And they shuffle cards, ace through 6, for each shooter, and then they place these cards in these boxes. Then when the shooter rolls the dice, the stickman calls out like 3-5, meaning one of the dice has a 3, the other dice has a 5. And then they look at what cards are in positions 3 and 5. They scoot those cards up, and then that's the call. Maybe at location 3 is the ace, and at location 5 is the 4. So you have ace 4, so the roll is a 5. Again, it's stupid. It gets around the law. That's how we do it here. So here's what Cache Creek is doing, and I don't know why they feel like they need to be different, but they've got those same 6 boxes on the layout. Instead of being numbered 1 through 6, they're color-coded. 6 different colors: yellow, blue, green, red, black, and white. And then the dice are special dice. They don't have numbers on the sides like regular dice. They are 6-sided dice, but instead they have dots corresponding to those colors, right? So on the 6 sides of one die, you have yellow, blue, green, red, black, and white dots. All right, so the dice are rolled, and then the stickman calls out the colors that come up on the dice. Oh, red, green. So then they go to the layout and they push forward the cards that are in box red and box green, and that's the roll. You're following me, Mike, right? The concept is the same.
I got it.
Right?
Right. They're just using colors.
They're just using colors instead of the numbers. So what Nathan is complaining about is that, like, okay, if it's blue-black, it's hard to tell the difference of colors.
Right.
Especially if you were colorblind, it'd be very hard.
Yeah, this sounds like a discriminatory act against colorblind and deaf people.
And
if you're deaf and colorblind, you can't play this game.
Because you can't hear the call and you can't see the call. You
can't hear it, you can't see it. So it's discriminatory, and this is a lawsuit waiting to happen, Mark. I will be filing that on Tuesday morning.
Okay, good. From Minnesota?
From Minnesota. As soon as I'm going to get my money back from California one way or the other.
Cache Creek, they just need to be different, or they want to have a patent on this. Who knows? But
it's stupid is what it is. It's absolutely stupid. Why have colors? Why not, a triangle and a rectangle and a square and a rhomboid? I mean, why colors? Why not shapes?
Rhomboid circle. 7 out.
Or presidents of the United States. Let's see. Fillmore and it looks like this one's Andrew Jack. No, wait, that's Abraham Lincoln. They looked a lot alike.
Yeah, I got to look a little closer. Who is that?
I mean, it's so ridiculous.
All right, so
but seriously, now on a serious note, what would their thinking be?
Again, that's what I'm thinking, Mike, is I know there are casinos who want to have some proprietary way of doing it.
Yeah.
Like no other casino does it this way. This is what we've come up with. And maybe they can patent it, and maybe they can sell it to other casinos. That's all I can think about. Yeah,
it's going to be a hard sell.
Yeah, I agree.
That's going to be a real hard sell. Yeah, I got this new system.
All right,
it's based on color.
Vote yes on Prop 26. Maybe we'll get some. This will all go away. All their silly dice will go away. They'll be novelty items.
I mean, I guess colors are the first thing you learn in school. And then maybe numbers and shapes come later. So maybe they're appealing to the younger crowd.
Okay, maybe that is it. The preschool
like the 3
crowd.
and 4-year-olds.
Yeah, you could be right. All right, last call. The audio is a little rough here. I edited it as best I could. I think you'll get the gist of it. We'll talk about it afterwards.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike is on LA. Just like to share with you a strategy with your listeners. If they have a small bankroll with friends on a $15 or higher limit table, my buddy and I, we combine the bankroll, and I'll start with 18 on the 8, 15 on the 9, and a buy bet of 25 on the 10. And he'll do the same for the 4, 5, and 6. This was a great way to get a lot of action, since instead of costing me $66 across, it was only $58. I play normally pressing my numbers, and he would play normally his way, pressing and pressing from the same pool. If your buddy's shooting and doesn't max his odds, instead of making a place bet, see if you can just put your money behind him after the comet roll, and then he can do the same for you. This is really good on a higher odds table. Yeah, just saving your listeners a lot of money. So honestly, like a lot of stuff to keep track of, but you're constantly engaged. So we were never out of it or waiting for stuff to happen. We were always engaged and trying to manage all of these shenanigans. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Yeah, good advice. Pool your money with a friend if it's a higher limit table than you're really comfortable playing, and then split up the betting. If normally you like to go all the way across, like Vaughn says, maybe you bet on the 8, 9, and 10, your buddy bets on the 4, 5, and 6. And even though it's higher limits, well, each of you is only betting on half of the numbers. So you just pool your money and split that way. Yeah, it's good advice.
Yeah, it's a good way to play if you're, on a limited budget. But there are some problems with it too, Mark. I mean, first of all, you have to be pretty good buddies with the person you're playing with.
Yeah.
And it is a lot to keep track of. Like Vaughn said, you have to buy in for the same amount. You have to agree on when you're going to press and when you're not going to press and, what you're going to do.
Right, yeah.
What you need is an intermediary like yourself.
Mark, like me.
Who sits in between the two people and keeps all the exchanges correct.
Yeah, sitting in between, actually taking the chips from one player and giving to the other and things like that.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. That's a lot better than actually having the two people stand next to each other.
Right. Well, the intermediary keeps it all legit.
Okay. Oh, that's true. Right. Well, for those of you who are still listening, yes, that has been the case before. Specifically, Mike and Firebet Phil. Mike was taking a little bit of Phil's action, and I was the go-between. And okay, here's $30.
And then I don't have to pay attention.
Yeah,
the beauty of it is
the key,
I never paid attention. I just took whatever you gave me or gave you whatever you asked for.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, we will be posting this episode after our poker tournament. However, we are recording the day before. So we don't know what's going to happen at the poker tournament. So we will
I think we know what's going to happen.
All right. Well,
we don't know the result.
I don't know specifically what's going to happen. So as of this recording, we have not played in the tournament yet. So we will talk about our tournament the next time that we record. And the next time we record, Mike, it's going to be kind of up in the air. I'm not going to make any promises right now because you're going to be coming out here in a couple weeks.
Right.
Sherry and I are going to be going on vacation sometime here soon. So watch for the episode whenever it drops. We can't make any promises right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a little mixed up there for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But
so anyway, hopefully the tournament went well. And again, we'll talk about it on our next episode. But that will do it for this episode. We want to thank a couple of people for recurring donations. Jeremy at the Color Up YouTube channel and James. Thank you very much. Hey, be sure to check out our TV listing showing all of the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks at youcanbetonthat.com/TV-listings and our list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonthat.com/movies. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonthat@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at youcanbetonthat and on Facebook at facebook.com/youcanbetonthat. Finally, please go to your favorite podcast app and write a review of the show. We love getting your feedback. What do you got for us, Dr. Mike?
Well, Mark, as I'm sitting here contemplating going out to the casino this afternoon,
Yes.
I'm thinking to myself, you have a very important job. You do a lot of work for the company that you work for, and you do a lot of work for the United States.
Sure.
When are you guys going to invent a transporter? Because it is too far a drive for me to go to the casinos. If we had a transporter, we could meet every weekend in Harrah's, Cherokee, or wherever we wanted. We could meet in, Macau or whatever. So is that something that you think you can start working on? I know you're busy with a podcast and your life.
Yeah. Mike, it's in the works. That's all I can say. I can't say anything more about it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, as long as I know someone's getting there on that.
Yep.
Because I want it to happen before, I expire.
Okay. Well, we're working on a time machine too, so you're probably okay.
Oh, great. Great. I'm glad all this is working out. Yeah, I just wished I was closer. That's the only bad part about where I live right now. It takes me a good hour and a half at the least to get to a casino.
Sure.
So that's a half hour more than when we were in San Diego.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's only because we went to Harrah's. Yeah, we're actually about 20 minutes away from one if we go to the closer ones here. Yeah.
Right. But anyway, I'm looking forward to getting down there in a couple weeks and going out to Harrah's, seeing all the old gang.
Yep, they ask about you every time we go up.
Yep. Well, I'm doing fine here.
Okay, good.
Got a great job and hanging out.
All right, very good. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Good night.
Okay, let's thin this herd. Untucked shirt, no thank you. Born in San Diego, yikes.
An adult named Todd?
So, this is what online dating is like?